What's up, guys? Back again with another video. So a lot of times people think that, it's easier to get your CDL by going to like a technical college or something like that, pay for it or get grants or however, right? The cost of a CDL costs anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. If you go to trucking school or you go to a technical college or somewhere that offers just a CDL program, right? You have to pay for it out of pocket or however you want to do it. So a lot of people want to pay for out of pocket route. But coming up on February 7th next year, there's going to be some changes to some rules. What that means is that, you used to can go to a trucking school, pay out of pocket, go to like a technical college or something like that and pay for your CDL training. And then, if you know an uncle or a cousin or somebody with a truck, they can train you on their truck and stuff like that. And then you can go to the school. They have trucks there. You can pay to use one of the trucks, or you can use your uncle's truck or your daddy's truck to take the CDL driving portion of the test and pass it, and you'll get your CDL that way. Now coming up, they're making some changes. We're going to read this here real quick. All right, so right here on the FMCSA website, right, the new thing that's coming out is the entry-level driver training. So the FMCSA entry-level driver training, or the ELDT regulations, set the baseline for training requirements for entry-level drivers. This includes those applying for obtaining a Class A or Class B CDL for the first time, or if you're going to upgrade an existing Class B CDL to a Class A CDL, or obtain a school bus, passenger, hazmat, or any type of endorsement. So if me, for an example, I already have a CDL, right? So after February 7th, I will be subject to this entry-level driver training requirement to get a hazmat endorsement or to get tanker or anything. I would have to go through these regulations even though I already have a CDL. So the ELDT regulations it's not retroactive. The entry-level driver training requirements do not apply to individuals holding a class or holding a valid CDL or an S, P, or H endorsement issued prior to February 7, 2022. If an applicant who obtains a CLP, which is basically your learner's permit, prior to February 7, 2022, obtains a CDL before the permit renewal expires, the applicant is not subject to the ELDT requirements. So that means what you want to do is you want to go ahead and get your driver permit right now. So you need to go to your local DMV, get the permit right now before January, I would say, or before February, because that's going to be cutting kind of close if you're trying to get into a trucking school or anything like that. Now, you might want to go ahead and at least get your permit, because if you get your permit, you'll still have time and won't be subject to this extra additional training that's going to be required by the FMCSA. Okay, once operational, the FMCSA training provider registry will retain a record of which CDL applicants have completed the new training and certification process outlined in the entry-level driver training. All right, the ELDT regulations. For more information, of course, you could go to this website. I'm right on the FMCSA website. They give you the website there. The ELDT regulations and training provider registry were mandated under the Moving Ahead for Process in the 21st Century Act, right? The MAP 21. The ELDT final rule was based in part on consensus recommendations from the agency's entry-level driver training advisory committee, which is basically a negotiated rulemaking committee that held a series of meetings back in 2015. This was last updated this year on January 5th. Now, what this also means, like I said, if you want to go to like a technical college or trucking school or whatever to pay for your CDL, you're no longer going to be able to use your daddy's truck, your cousin's truck or whatever, and they train you, and then you use their truck to take the test, or pay for one of the school's trucks to take the CDL driving portion of the test. You're going to have to go to a place that is registered to offer you that training, which is going to cost you even more money. So I think they're trying to say that, your CDL is kind of too easy to get. But what I still recommend, though, instead of doing that, you have to have training anyway, right? You have to get experience anyway. So I wouldn't necessarily pay to go to like a technical college or whatever to get my CDL license. I would go to a truck driving company that offers a school, because they're going to most likely offer you the CDL training for free. They're going to pay for it. And that way you have to work for them for a year. Me personally, I never really cared about the contract too much because I already went in it with the mindset of that, hey, I need training anyway. You know, I need training, I need experience. So I went over the road. The only tough part about OTR is, you know, if you got a family and kids and stuff like that, I get it. It's a sacrifice. In the wintertime, it's rough. But for the most part, you need the training. A lot of us is trying to get around that by doing local, you know, instead of going OTR, doing regional stuff. All of that's cool. You can get away with regional too. You can pretty much get away with regional. But a lot of these companies that offer the training, they're going to be OTR companies. They're going to want you to go over the road. So I made the sacrifice. Instead of paying out of pocket for anything, I went to the school, of course, CR England, and they paid for me to get there. CR England didn't pay for your food though, so if that's going to be an issue for you, make sure you go to a school that provides that, because there's some schools out there, they provide everything. You know, of course, they get you there, you have a place to stay, and also they make sure you eat and stuff like that. So make sure, I think CR England have changed that since then, because that's been a big complaint. But make sure they have some of the things that you need. That way it won't be such a big deal. And 1 year, you do your 1 year, and then your CDL is paid for, right? And then you could decide to leave and go elsewhere. But if you are going into this with the mindset of wanting to get your own truck, start your own company, get your own authority and stuff like that. In my last video, I talked about the things you need to be doing up to this point. But I recommend going to a school or a truck driving company that offers a school and just, you know, make the sacrifice to be expected to be gone, or go to a company that's going to, you know, give you at least some of the things that you want. So if you require home time, you know, every month or two or every 3 months or whatever, get to or go to one of them schools that's going to make a conscious effort to get you home when you want to go home and stuff like that. Because it's a lot of schools out there that's good. But for the most part, when you go to that school, go with your CDL permit, and then they're going to put you right in the truck and get you to working. And you want to do that prior to February 7th, 2022, because now you're going to be facing additional requirements to get your CDL. And, you know, who wants to do that? But after the 1 year, if you plan on buying a truck, buy a truck and lease it on to a company. Lease it on to a good company. And then now, you know, you do that for a year. So you go to truck driver school, be a company driver for 1 year, buy your truck, lease it on for 1 year. Now you got 2 years experience. And the reason why I say that is because, like, when you do go and want to get your own trucking authority, the insurance is going to be kind of expensive, right? Insurance is going to be kind of expensive. So, you know, if you don't have a truck payment, then maybe you'll be able to afford a more higher premium on the insurance. But for those like me who had a truck payment and have insurance, insurance is going to be that kind of expensive, because now you're paying, you know, a lot of money a month just for your truck and the insurance. And, you know, to be able to try to go and do that before you have 2 years experience, it's going to be kind of tough. It's not impossible, but if you can afford it to make it work, then you could go ahead and jump out there with just having at least 1 year of driving experience. Going to a truck driving company that offers a school, get your CDL that way. It's the easiest way, you know, because right there, I know right there on the spot, CR England, they test you for the CDL right there. They submit all that information to the DMV, and it's just so much easier than to have to go to a technical college, be in classrooms, and do all of this stuff, and then have to go to the DMV, take the test there, borrow somebody's truck, and all this stuff. It's just so much easier to just go to a truck company that offers a truck driving school. They do everything there, and once you stay with them for the 1 year, make that sacrifice. It is a sacrifice. That's why you want to pick a gut company, or at least a decent company. They all pretty much the same. Everybody's going to go through something, you know, some type of issues while you're there. But, you know, just keep your head up, keep it moving, and keep your eye on the main goal, main focus, and you'll walk away with a CDL and don't have to pay nothing out of pocket. That's what I did. But what I recommend, though, if you're thinking about it, straddling the fence, at least go get your CDL permit, because come the next few months, February 7th next year, 2022, it's going to be some more requirements. Entry-level driver training. They feel like getting your CDL is not hard enough, so they about to make it harder. But that's what it is, guys. Hope this video was helpful. Go get your CDLs. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, see you in the next video.